Yes, good afternoon to all of you. Can you all hear my voice? Anybody respond? Okay, 1 second, I will start. Yes, I hope I am audible to all of you. Just once again confirm me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Before starting, I want to say all of you just sit in a place where you are having a good signal strength so that there is no interruption by regard to video and audio. Okay? సో సిగ్నల్ చెక్ చేసుకొని కూర్చోండి బాగా సిగ్నల్ చోట కూర్చోండి So other classmates will also join soon. They share the slide. Yes, I can you all see the slide? Is the slide visible? One of you respond. Are you able to see the slide? I did not get any response. ఒకసారి స్లైడ్ కనిపిస్తా ఉందా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Okay. So in our last class, we were discussing about this respiration chapter, and last class we discussed the fourth step, that is the electron transport system. So I'll just quickly go through it so that it was a bit confusing. Just once again, we'll just revise it. Okay, so we'll go forward. So here, this electron transport system, what is happening here is before this, the third step is the Krebs cycle. Yeah? The first step, what is happening in the glycolysis? Just show that figure. So what was happening here? So in the first step, that is the glycolysis, glucose was converted into two molecules of pyruvic acid in cytoplasm. Then this two molecules of pyruvic acid was entered into mitochondria. It enters into mitochondria where it undergoes oxidation process and decarboxylation process where it gets converted into acetyl coenzyme A. So this is the second process, that link reaction. We call it as oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvic acid. where again two molecules of acetyl coenzyme A are produced from two molecules of pyrrole. Now the third step, which is acetyl coenzyme A enters the Krebs cycle and it produces NADH, FADH2 along with ATP. So overall, we get six molecules of NADH, two molecules of FADH2, and one ATP. So now what happens here? So this is the fourth step. It is the electron transport system, where these NADH and FADH it has to be converted into ATP. That is the ultimate purpose of this aerobic respiration, where energy has to be produced. Yes, that is in the form of ATP. Now coming down to this electron transport system here, just see that this is the intermembrane space, or it is also known as the mitochondrial space. And this is the inner space, inner membrane, space, inner membrane. As you know here, that mitochondria has an outer membrane and has finger-like projections. That is the cristae. Yes. So these are the finger-like projections, the inner membrane. That is, it is known as the cristae. This is the outer membrane. Yes. And in between this is the perimitochondrial space or intermembrane space. Here, inside this, there will be matrix. So this is the matrix. So here you can see this is the matrix region of mitochondria. This is the inner membrane. This is the intermembrane space or perimitochondrial space surrounded by the outer membrane. Yes, the outer. Now, if you see here that inner membrane, there are some complexes embedded, protein complexes that are embedded inside this membrane. So there are five complexes that are involved in this electron transport system. One is complex 1, this is complex 2, this is complex 3, this is complex 4. Lastly, we have ATPase. Yes, this is the fifth complex. Now, what happens here is, before going into the detail, just see the complex composition. If you look at the first complex, this is the, it is also known as NADH ubiquinone oxidoreductase. Yes, it has FMN component, prosthetic component, which is known as flavin nucleotide. Along with there are few iron sulfur components also present. So first complex comprises of FMN and iron sulfur centers components. Then the second complex is also known as succinate ubiquinone oxidoreductase. It contains FAD. One of the component is FAD, that is flavin adenine dinucleotide, as which has the prosthetic. It also has two iron sulfur protein components. Yes. Then we come to the third complex, complex 3, which is also known as cytochrome C reductase. It has two B cytochromes. One is B560 and another one is B565, along with one cytochrome C1 component, one iron sulfur protein. So it overall has four components, two B components, one cytochrome C1, and another one is iron sulfur. So that is complex 3. Here, complex 4 is there as cytochrome oxidase. Complex 3 is cytochrome C reductase. This one, cytochrome C oxidase. It contains four units, which one is cytochrome A, another one is cytochrome, and it has two copper proteins. Okay, so this is the composition. complex 4. Now, there is fifth complex that is known as ATP synthetase. It is also known as zero complex, is a proton chance as a proton chain. Now, we have seen all these five complexes that are present here in the membrane. But if you look here, there are two mobile carriers of their only cytoplasms. Now, if you look here, this is ubiquitin, with the lipid soluble, where it acts as a electron mobile carrier between complex 1 and complex 3, and also it acts as a mobile carrier between complex 2 and 3. So electrons, they are complex 1 to 3 along with the help of this ubiquinol pool, as well as from 3 also the electrons are carried by this ubiquinol pool. Another carrier is cytoplasm. It is also a mobile electron carrier where it transfers electrons from complex. We remember this. So now we discussed about the composition of the small five complexes. Now we will just go into the detail of electron transfer, where when the where NADH plus that are produced in Krebs cycle, which are present in the matrix region, they break down and they release two electrons to flavin butyl. Then this flavin butyl passes the two electrons to another component, iron sulfur. Okay. So this is another component where the electrons will, from here the electrons will move to between two. Yes. Now these there are two electrons, okay, that are passed. So when two electrons are passed, these two protons are located in the very mitochondrial space, this region, or intermembrane space. So here the two protons are translocated here matrix region to the very mitochondrial space, and two electrons are passed to the ubiquinol. Now what happens here is this ubiquinol, it is a cycle, yes, where UQ will change to H2. Yes. So again this U2H2 will change to U. It is a continuous cycle. So UQ is nothing but ubiquinol, which reduces to ubiquinol. The further the two electrons are released here from ubiquinol to ubiquinol changes, two electrons are further passed here to the third complex, that is the cytochrome B. During this time, these two protons are, what happens here is when this ubiquinol pool is running, it takes two protons from the matrix region and UQ is changed to UQH2. Now this UQH2, when it passes on the electron, it releases two protons into the very mitochondrial space region, and the overall four protons will be present, translocated. Okay, two from one and two from UBQ. Now what happens here? These two electrons, they are passed on from complex 1 to complex 3. And if you see here now complex 2, where you see this here, succinate getting transformed into fumaraate. So during this time, FADH2 is produced. Yes, FADH2. So here in this Krebs cycle, you see here, where succinate is there, which has changed to producing what? FADH2. flavin and enzyme. So here this FADH2, it breaks down, it releases electrons, two electrons to flavin adenine dinucleotide where it passes the electron to amine another iron sulfur complex. There are two iron sulfur complex present in this complex 2 also, where this iron sulfur complex will release the two electrons to ubiquinone 2. Now these two electrons when ubiquinone it accepts, it further passes to ubiquinone UH, where it takes two protons from the matrix and it reduces to UPH. Now again, two electrons from complex 2 are further passed here to complex 3 and two protons are translocated. Now you just see here that when FADH breaks down, it releases two electrons. Here two electrons are passed. Okay. And at the same time, two electrons are coming from ubiquinol. So overall, we are having four protons here. Yes, two are coming from FADH2 and two are coming from ubiquinol. So four are coming. Four protons will be coming from complex 2 and here four protons are coming from complex 1. Now here how many electrons are here present means now present electrons in here. Now you may have doubt that there should be four electrons. Two electrons are coming from complex 1, two electrons are coming from complex 2. But what happens here is during this ubiquinol pool, where it is a cycle where it is continuously running from ubiquinol to ubiquinol and then again to ubiquinol. This cycle. You may recollect that this is similar to the photosynthesis electron transport also where we have plastocyan cycle. Okay? Where plastocyan is sorry, plastoquinone is converted into PQH, plastoquinone to plastoquinol, and it goes that. So here what happens here is it is similar to that only. So here during this cycle to continue to maintain this cycle continuity, one electrons are utilized, one from cytochrome sorry, complex 1 and one complex 2. That's the reason where it is consuming two electrons and releasing two electrons. So further only two electrons will be passed on to complex 3, that is cytochrome B complex, where we have two components of cytochrome B. One is cytochrome B 560 and another is 565. And this cytochrome B releases to cytochrome C1 and further cytochrome sorry iron sulfur protein and it releases to other mobile carrier that is cytochrome C. Now this cytochrome C is just embedded in the inner membrane layer. All these are embedded, but these cytochromes these are not part of any complex. These are independent mobile carriers. Okay, so these two electrons they pass from complex 3 now to complex 4 with the help of cytochromes, a mobile electron carrier. Now it reaches this cytochrome complex 4. It reaches the cytochrome A complex where it is first cytochrome A it reaches then cytochrome A3. Then it will be transferred to the protein compound. There are two protein compounds also present here. And from here the two electrons are released in the matrix. Now once the two electrons are released here, that is enough to bind oxygen and protein, whereby we are getting one water molecule is created. So whatever electrons that are passed on from complex 4 here, at this time, half of the oxygen is combined with the two protons to form water half of the oxygen when it combines, another two protons will be transported here. Yes. So for one oxygen molecule, if it has to combine, it combines with two protons, and after two protons are released here, the perimitochondrial space region during the formation of water. So now this will happen during the electron transport from complex 4 to matrix. Now, ultimately, what has happened here during the electron transport, water molecule is generated, but ultimate goal of electron transport is to produce ATP, okay, not water. So it has to produce ATPs. So along with this production of water, now ATPs has to be produced. How this is produced means, if you see here, in the perimitochondrial space region where the number of protons have increased. Yes. So there is a proton concentration gradient developed here, the perimitochondrial space when compared to the matrix space where it has gone down. So because of this proton concentration gradient, these protons, what they do are, they are pumped back to the matrix. Yes. So during this process, complex 5 is involved, through which the proton pumping is done, proton translocation is done. This is the fifth complex, which is known as the ATPase complex. Now, in this ATPase complex, there will be two parts. One is the tail region, that is F0 part, and the red region, F1 part. Now, these two F0 and F1 are made up of number of subunits, which acts as a motor. So during this proton translocation, what happens here is they turn, the motor runs, and it produces energy. Now, during this proton translocation here, that energy is utilized for combining, that is sufficient amount of energy produced to combine one adenosine diphosphate along with one organic phosphate to produce one ATP. Now, ultimately, we are getting ATPs. Now, here, if you see here, NADH, how many ATPs are produced means, just see here, there are four protons here from NADH, and you forget this one, and two protons will be here, formation of water. Somebody is waiting. Now, four protons are coming from NADH in the from complex 1 here, and two protons are coming here from complex 4. Now, these are so totally six protons are coming from NADH that will produce three ATPs. Yes, and four are coming from here, and two, that is complex 2, that is FADH2, and two are here. That means it will produce two ATPs. Okay. So ultimately, this is how the ATPs are produced at the end of electron transport system. So here, if you see the summary here, that is the proton translocation. So this is mitochondria. This is just elaborated where this is the inner membrane where complex 1, 2, complex 3, and complex 4 are created. Okay, and this is the intermembrane space of very mitochondrial space. This is the matrix. Now, what happens here? The proton pumping has been done here. Proton pumping, proton translocation has been done from the matrix region to the intermembrane space. So, proton motive force, that is proton concentration gradient, is developed where the concentration of proton has gone up, and in the perimitochondrial space and mitochondrial matrix region, it has gone down. So, during this proton transportation, this ADP and PI they combine to fuse to form through what? Through this fifth complex, that is the ATPase complex. So here The structure of ATP, if you see, sorry, ATP synthesis, that is the fifth complex here, if you see, these are made up of two parts. One is the F0 part, that is the tail region, which is embedded in the inner membrane, and this is the F1 region, which is exposed towards the matrix region. Okay. So now F0, it is made up of three complexes, three subunits, that is 1, 2, 3, 9, 12, C subunits are there. Yes. Okay, this is the tail region. And if you see here, this is the F1 region, that bed region, which is made up of five subunits. That is 3 alpha, 3 beta, 1 gamma, 1 psi. So all these components are there. So it acts as a motor sort of. How the motor that is there, which during the proton translocation here. So what happens here, the proton is transferred the perimitochondrial space region to the matrix region. There is this energy because of this kind of fifth complex, and that energy relates to and the ATPs. Means reducing diphosphate use. That is how ATP is produced. So I hope you are clear with the electron transport system. While writing this, you may expect a essay question for this electron transport system, where uh, if this question comes, then so if this question comes, then what you have to do is you just draw this diagram and explain the all five components, the present complexes, its components, how they, what is it made up of. You describe the sequence, how the electrons move from complex 1 to complex 3, how it moves from complex 2. Okay. Yes. So, how the electrons are moving from complex 2 to 3, and further how they are with the help of mobile carrier cytochrome C, they are moving from 3 to 4 and 3 4 to 5. This proton translocation, how it is occurring. Yes. Now, coming down to the just is summary. We are at the end of this aerobic respiration, where you can see here, this is the first step, that is the glycolysis, where what is happening here? Glucose, it has converted pyruvic acid, releasing 2 ATP molecules. Now here, this is taking place in cytoplasm. Now these two molecules of the pyruvic acid, they are converted into two molecules of acetyl coenzyme A by the link reaction. These two molecules of acetyl coenzyme A, they enter the Krebs cycle. This is the third one, third step. That is the Krebs cycle, where it releases CO2, and it produces chemical energy in the form of NADPH, NADH, and FADH. It also produces direct ATP, yes, and the ATP. So here, mainly this thing, NAD, FADH2, these have to be converted into ATPs. So that process happens in the fourth step, that is the electron transport system. So where oxygen is utilized and water is pumped here, and along with this, get 36 ATPs produced. Okay. Now, if you look at the balance sheet here, these are the stages to how ATPs are produced in aerobic respiration. Then you can see here the steps, that is the first step, glycolysis, the second step, link reaction, third step, Krebs cycle. This is the direct ATPs produced here. And this is the NADH and FADH form. This column shows total ATPs that are produced. If you look here in cytoglycolysis, we are getting two direct ATPs and two NADH are produced, where one NADH will produce only 3 ATPs. Yes, 3 ATPs are produced. So here 2 NADH means we have to multiply by 3 and the overall into 3, 6 ATPs we get from 2 NADH. From what? From glycolysis. Now from link reaction, if you see here, we don't get any with the direct ATPs, but 2 NADH are produced, where 1 NADH produces 3 ATPs, 2 into 3, 6 ATPs are produced from these 2 NADH. And another one is the Krebs cycle, where directly we get 2 ATPs and 2 FADH are produced and 6 NADH are produced, where NADH is equivalent to 3 ATPs, 6 is the 18 ATPs, the FADH produces 2 ATPs, means 2 into 2, 4 ATPs. Overall, if you see here, we are getting 4 direct ATPs produced here. We are getting 34 ATPs that are converted from ADH and FADH. So 6 here, 6 from here, 6 plus 6, 12 plus 4, 16, 16 plus 18, 34. Yes. So overall 4 plus 34, we get here 38 ATPs. In some, the only 32 ATPs may be produced. This variation comes here, where NADH in some produces only 2 instead of 3. Then the equation changes to 36 ATPs. Okay. Depends on the type of aerobic respiration. So overall, you just remember this balance sheet. Maybe you can expect a short answer in this regard. That you have to remember in what all steps, on all these 3 steps, direct ATPs are produced. How many NADH and FADH2 are produced and how many ATPs are produced at the end of this. Okay. Now, now this is just the anaerobic respiration. You see here on the left side, we are, it is just showing two processes. One is glycolysis, another is fermentation. Just remember that anaerobic respiration takes place in 2 steps. One is the glycolysis, that is a common step in aerobic and anaerobic respiration. And this one is the second step, that is the fermentation. Now, if you look here, this is the glucose glycolysis, where glucose has produced 2 molecules of pyruvic acid or pyruvate. Yes, and ATPs, we get 2 ATPs from this glycolysis. This is the first step. And here, the second step, fermentation, there are 2 types of fermentation taking place. One is the alcohol fermentation, another one is the lactic acid fermentation. Now, if you look here, this is the alcohol fermentation, where pyruvic acid undergoes decarboxylation reaction and ultimately alcohol is produced. Yes, and another one here is pyruvate. This is the second one, where directly pyruvic acid undergoes the oxidation reaction or dehydrogenation reaction. Lactic acid is produced. Both these reactions, you see here, decarboxylation is occurring, and here oxidation or dehydrogenation is occurring, where NADH is converted into NAD. In both the cases, you can see. Okay? Now, whatever NAD is produced here, it is again recycled in glycolysis. It is utilized here. Okay? The glucose low, it is utilized also. And again, NADH are produced. Again, it, it is taking place in fermentation. So this is a cycle, continuous cycle. Okay? So here, if you see in the right side, this is alcohol fermentation, where you can see here first step where glucose it is converted into two molecules of pyruvic acid. So here, what has happened here is the alcohol fermentation. One molecule of glucose, it produces two molecules of pyruvic acid by formation of 2 ATP. This is the first step, that is the glycolysis. Now here in the fermentation, further step is fermentation. What happens here? First decarboxylation means carbon dioxide is released here. This carbon dioxide released from two pyruvic acid to form two molecules of 2-acetaldehyde. Now these two molecules of acetaldehyde, they undergo oxidation or dehydrogenation reaction. Okay, here you can see 2 NADH, they are converted into two molecules of NAD plus. Now this NAD plus, again it is recycled or utilized in the glycolide. Again NADH is, so it is a cycle here. But what here with the help of enzyme, acetaldehyde dehydrogenase. Here the enzyme is pyruvate decarboxylase. So all these things, alcohol fermentation is taking place by a type of fungi, that is the yeast. So yeast is the microorganism, so the fungi that helps in the fermentation process. Now what happens here is during this decarboxylation process, where acetaldehyde is produced, where more and more number of carbon dioxide is produced, it is utilized in the bakery, where you can see the fluffy nature of the wheat that is produced, the bread and the bun and all those bakery items. Why the wheat becomes fluffy means because of this anaerobic respiration process, where more and more carbon dioxide is released. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing is that uh, where further where oxidation or the reduction reaction of this acetaldehyde occurs and ethyl alcohol is produced, that is CH3C2H5OH, where it is used in the brewery industry, where alcohol beverages are produced. So what happens here is once the yeast ferment process, these yeast, they die because of the toxic nature of this alcohol, and the filtration process is done. Ultimately, the wine or the alcohol is collected. Okay, that is how the alcohol is produced. So this anaerobic respiration is useful in two ways industrially. One is in the bakery industry and another in the brewery. Yes. So here, what happens here is a cell decides whether what it has to. It has to either perform aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration. So this aerobic respiration, when it occurs, in both the cases, the first step, that is the glycolysis. Yes, that is good enough. So what happens here is the glucose it gets converted into pyruvic acid, 2 ATPs, and NADH. So once the pyruvic acid is formed here, now in the presence of oxygen is present, then cell goes for the aerobic respiration, where the pyruvate is converted to acetyl-CoA, that is the link reaction. This link reaction enters the PEP cycle, and from PEP cycle, where the NADH, FADH2, they enter the electron transport system, and that is how ATPs are produced, and the aerobic respiration takes place. Yes. Now, what happens if there is no oxygen available in the cell? In that case, where you can see here left and right side, when there is no oxygen, without oxygen, then there are two types of fermentation processes occurring. Now, what are those that is, first thing is glycolysis is common step in aerobic where pyruvic acid will be developed, he said. Now, this pyruvic acid will either produce alcohol fermentation or it will produce lactic acid. Lactic acid. Now, this lactic acid, the pyruvic acid, the oxidation process occurs where NADH, like dehydrogenation process occurs, lactic acid. This NAD, it again goes back and it is utilized here. Okay? So here it is utilized in the glycolysis. So here, when this lactic acid, when it is produced, means what type of cells? Human beings, it is produced in RBCs and skeletal muscle cells and all those type of cells. If you see that when there is a lack of oxygen, our muscles, when they perform any activity, more and more amount of energy is utilized. So when there is less amount of oxygen available, so with this anaerobic process will be triggered, and as you know, anaerobic respiration, with 2 ATPs are produced, which is far less than aerobic respiration where 38 ATPs are produced. So less amount of energy is produced that is utilized by the muscles and the muscle strain occurs. It is the muscles they swell if you do some like vigorous work. Okay. What happens that time? Muscles will be swelled and you will feel stress. Okay. Why? Because of the production, more production of lactic acid. So at that time you have to relax. So even this is the case with our heart also. The proper pumping of blood is not occurred and proper flow of oxygen is not available to the heart muscle. So blood flow will decrease, the oxygen flow will not be there, uh, and what happens here, the arteries will be blocked, and you will start getting pain in the heart and even the left hand side. Okay, left hand also. So because of that thing, people get strokes from. So why this is happening means more and more anaerobic respiration is occurring at that time. So another thing is that here if you see on the right side where alcohol fermentation if you see here, so this is lactic acid fermentation. This is alcohol. Both are anaerobic fermentation. The anaerobic respiration process. Okay, lactic fermentation. So what happens here in alcohol fermentation, as we discussed earlier, decarboxylation reaction. First, acetaldehyde is produced here, and this is useful for this bakery industry. And second step that occurs here is the oxidation step where NADH is produced. Plus dehydrogenation step where dehydrogenase enzyme is utilized and alcohol is produced. This NAD is used here, the glycolysis, recycled here. Again, NADH is produced. That is how it goes. Now, this NADH it will be utilized here, okay, in both the cases. So here, the alcohol C2, CH3, C2H5 that is produced. This is used in the brewery industry. So all this is happening because of the yeast. Yeast is very useful here for this process. Yes. So this is about the anaerobic respiration. Now, if you look here, this is just summary of aerobic and anaerobic respiration, where the first step, glycolysis, cytoplasm is taking place, produces 2 ATP, then the big reaction, all the 3 reactions are occurring here. Okay, in mitochondria, second, third, and fourth. The carbon dioxide is released along with water, where oxygen is utilized here, and the 36 ATPs are produced in the aerobic respiration. So 2 plus 36. Overall, there are 38 ATPs are produced in the aerobic respiration. Whereas in the anaerobic respiration, see here, the 2 steps are there, glycolysis and fermentation, and it takes place in cytoplasm of the cell where no mitochondria is involved. Whereas if you see here, glycolysis takes place in cytoplasm All these are taking place in mitochondria. So here, in anaerobic respiration, where glucose converts into pyruvic acid, then this pyruvic acid, it further process goes undergoes fermentation processes. Alcohol fermentation produces alcohol, and lactate fermentation produces lactic acid. Yes, so this is the anaerobic respiration. Only two ATPs are produced here. Okay, from this uh, anaerobic respiration. So it is far less when compared to aerobic respiration. Okay, so exam point of view, you can expect essay question, that is glycolysis, then the Krebs cycle, then the ETS, electron transport system. You can expect a short answer with regard to link reaction, oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvic acid. Then you can expect a short answer with regard to anaerobic respiration. Yes. So with this we end the respiration part. Further, we will be discussing about the respiration quotient. That I will take up in the factors responsible for respiration. Okay. For today, I stop here. All of you who are present, just switch on your videos so that I can take a screenshot. Darshan, Dilip, Tarak, Mary, Vishnu, Bharati. Quickly, we are left with another few seconds only. Yes, what about others? Dilip and Sham are there. Quickly on your videos. Tarak, Vishnu, and Sudarshan.
Sir,
Good. Anybody wants to ask anything?